The Washington Huskies put their team motto on display all weekend long, leaving no doubt as to who is the top team in this NCAA regional right here in Seattle. I'm here with a sophomore pitcher that did not leave the mound for all three victories, Taran. The first two games, very dominating performance by your team. Talk about today's game, a little bit more competitive.
I mean, coming into today, we knew that Michigan was, they're not going to back down. They're a great team. They have great athletes and dominating pitching, so we knew that they were going to come back and go right after us. And I think we knew that going into that first inning when we were visitors, and it was a little bit different, and we were hitting first on our home field, so I think it took us a while to kind of settle in. And, I gave up that home run in the first, and it kind of never left the back of my mind, but I knew that our team was going to come through with the win, and it was able to calm me down and let me do what I needed to do.
And like I said, you didn't leave the mound for all three games. Were you expecting to pitch the whole tournament?
I mean, every day I wake up and you don't really know what's going to happen. I come to the field and they tell us who's in, and I don't know, you kind of just go, minute by minute and day by day, so that's what I did.
How are you feeling physically after 3 days of hard work?
Good, actually. I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, feeling strong and a little tired right now, but I feel good, especially going into next weekend. I feel like I'm doing good.
And big offensive plays, great pitching, they usually take the spotlight in games like this, but defensive plays can sometimes be the hidden heroes. Are there any defensive plays that really stuck out to you today?
I mean, they all kind of just stick out in my brain. I mean, Taylor had that great kind of like that pick in the third to first, and I mean, that one was great. And the little pop-ups, just like the little ones. I mean, Tristan made that good play in the outfield and at great timing. I mean, it's hard to pick just one because they all kind of matter equally.
Absolutely. Kirsten Thomas's splits right here on first base really stood out to me. That was impressive.
Yeah.
And Tara Blanco was up to bat at a certain point, I think in the fifth inning, and you threw a really nice curveball that hit the outside, and she kind of pointed at you or kind of nodded her head. Was that what was going on there?
I feel like, it could have either been an acknowledgement to the pitch, to the strike zone, knowing that, it is what it is. But, I mean, if she did tip her hat, then I tip mine right back to her because she's a great athlete, and I respect her very much.
And your coach, Heather Tarr, talks about how you are someone she relies on in a pinch. You get out of a jam. That's a lot of trust to put in a sophomore, and I think a lot of people forget that you are a sophomore. How do you approach that pressure? Do you like it?
I do. I feel like, the more pressure that's on me, I can find the pleasure in it. We have this saying, pleasure is greater than pressure. And, in the big moments, I try to just keep my calm and put my team on my back because, like they do it with me all the time. I mean, they're awesome. And for them to be able to kind of, trust me like that, it grows my confidence.
And next week you'll face Utah, a team that you're pretty familiar with after going into a crazy series with them last week, that amazing comeback win, best in Pac-12 history. What are you guys thinking heading into that game? What's the confidence level like of the team?
I mean, we're going at it like head first, like they'll be going right at us. I think it's important to just slow down and take one pitch at a time. That's what we work on, and that's what we say a lot of the times. I mean, Utah's a great team, and they're gonna do everything they can, and so are we. So it's gonna be an exciting Super Regionals, that's for sure.
Yeah, hopefully we get some weather like this again next.
Yeah, totally.
Well, thanks so much for taking the time, Taran. Rest that arm, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
I'm here with sophomore catcher Morganne Flores. Morgan, you were able to finish this NCAA regional first round in 3 games. Only 1 game today instead of 2 because you were able to finish it out. How helpful is that to only play 1 game?
I think it's great going to supers. We're able to rest our bodies too, which is nice. But 1 game especially because they're like 3 hours long. So I think 1 game is pretty good, pretty nice for us.
And you hit the double to knock in 2 runs in the 6th inning against Betsa. How big was that for your team?
I think it was pretty big. We had bases loaded, I think, a couple times, but I don't know, it was really cool that I was able to clutch up for my team right there and get the double that we needed to essentially end the game.
And Betsa really made a great appearance today. She was a lot stronger. You guys kind of got in her head early yesterday. How was the approach of the team stepping up to bat against her today?
We only saw her for like 20 pitches, I think, the first game, but I think we were just going in, swinging at good pitches, and we were able to put a few runs together.
And you and Taran have a really good chemistry on the field. It's kind of more noticeable than other pitchers and catchers. When she gets a nice pitch, gets a strike, she points at you, or you guys point at each other. Talk about that relationship with Taran.
Yeah, I love when Taran's on the mound. We have a really good relationship, and we kind of read each other's minds. So I think it's really awesome to have Taran on the mound, and I really trust her. We trust each other, so it's awesome.
It's very obvious. I was creeping around in the stands a little bit, and I found your dad, and we had a little discussion about how you really flourished this year, and under the great leadership of Casey Stengel and Ali Aguilar. And he travels. He's coming up from California, and he said he was coming up next week too.
Yeah.
How cool is it to have that kind of support, that family support, come to these games?
It's awesome. My family means everything to me, so having them be at every single game, it's really cool. Because my sister actually goes into college next year, so I think I'm going to have to split them for the next couple years, but it's really cool having them be at, like I said, every single game. It's really awesome.
Is your sister playing softball somewhere?
Yeah, she's going to play at LMU.
Very cool. Down, keeping it close, staying in California.
Yes.
And I have to ask this question just because I'm curious. As a catcher, your knees must take a beating, and you don't wear the pads on the back, do you?
No, I don't. I've been really blessed with good knees. Knock on wood, I haven't had an injury so far. So, yeah. Yeah.
Anything that you do, like rehab-wise, or kind of strengthening?
I do ice baths, which aren't very fun, but Normatec, ice, that's pretty much it.
A lot of time in the treatment room.
Yes, a lot.
Well, that's catcher Morganne Flores, knees of steel. Thanks so much for taking the time, and good luck next week.
Thank you.